All right, so we're back. It is Thursday, so we're doing another video. I thought about doing the video on Tuesday, but decided that I would wait to see kind of what else came to mind and blah, 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 whatever I want to talk about. Anyways, so, a little bit of background, I guess more background as you're getting to know me now. I work, well, I'm not gonna say that works. I'm not gonna say where I work. I'm not gonna say who I work for, but I'll say what I do. And if you know where I live, you can probably put the things, or you know what area I'm in, you can put the things together. So whatever. I'm a special education teacher. Obviously, I coach and do all that's my passion. I'm a special education teacher. So, anyways, when you work in special education, you come across a lot of different challenges, problems, things like that. The kids I work with, it's an NC classroom. So I have kids from all over the spectrum. A lot of high level, some lower, whatever you want to say, but it's everywhere. And so you run into a lot of different challenges daily because you're always trying to figure out how to make things accessible. Now, the specific place I work for, it's interesting the way it's set up because you have like two different entities working in one area, but working different softwares or whatever you want to say. And then you have to also try to figure out how to navigate that and everything. So it's interesting. Yesterday we had a day, I would say, best way to say it is we had a day. We, finally got to check in with our kids, but actually figure out how they're actually doing in classes. Because if you ask a kid who already has challenges communicating or other things like that, how are you doing? Do you need help? What's going on? They're going to say, I'm doing good, and no. Most of the time. Otherwise, or if they're just flat out don't know what they're doing, they're going to tell you. But most of the time, they're going to say, nope, I'm good. So it makes your job as a teacher or whatever. You have to constantly, you're not prodding, but you're really trying to figure out what's going on. So anyways, we got into the system some other kind of way, backdoor channels, whatever you want to say. And we got to figure out, oh my gosh, look at how you're actually doing. Okay, cool. We have to now, let's get some interventions going. So, and it was just a day of a lot of things happening at once. You try to figure these things out. You're like, wow, look how they're actually doing. And then you as a teacher now is like, what can I do to go in and now help them, right? And so it's interesting because my personal spiritual journey is really heavily now shaped by Stoicism, right? And it's literally just preparing, constantly preparing, so that you never are at this level where you're like, man, I know it all, I'm ready. No, you're just preparing always, right? That's the way to think about it. Preparing always for what can come, what suffering will happen, what things will, whatever. And yesterday was the first time that I was like, oh shoot, okay, everything's happening around me. We're trying to figure out all this stuff. It seems like everything's just going wrong. But then you're prepared to take a step back, to breathe, to think there's a problem, how can we work on this problem, right? It's to our attention, how many days, how many times, whatever. And it was a really cool moment because you got to really think about a philosophy that you've been studying and working and using and doing all this stuff, or trying to use. I wouldn't say you're always using it, but you're trying to use it and you're working through it and you're looking at problems, but you're not actually getting problems. So you're just like, oh, I'm chilling, bruh. Ain't no problems here. But no, there is. And now you got to figure it out how you can do it. So it was actually, it was a really cool moment. So I say all this stuff, not to tell you to do Stoicism. I mean, it's cool. You could do it. I don't know. It's up to you. But instead of when I was younger, if a problem happened, I'm like, oh shit, it's a problem. I got to run. I got to figure this out. Oh my God. But now, as I'm older, it's like, okay, there's a problem. Cool. So what are we going to do about it? Let's take a breath real quick. Let's figure out all the options we have. Let's figure out everyone that can help us. Who do we have that we can talk to get this done faster? Who do we have that can help us along this path? And so I tell you that to now, as you go in your day and you're going to face something. I can guarantee it, almost. Maybe you might have a beautiful day where everything works out great, but most days something's going to come up. And instead of freaking out, instead of thinking, woe is me, just take a breath and kind of see where you get led. And realize that you have options, you have people, you have things around that can help you through that. So rely on your resources, and hey, you got this.